You know, before John Bon Jovi was John Bon Jovi, there was this guy, probably one of the most handsome athletes in any sport. Women were crazy about this guy. Fabulous lines mane hair, skilled on the ice, great representative for the Rangers, many other teams. Also played for Team Canada, Canada Cup. Natural goal scorer, natural playmaker at times. One of the best centers that the Rangers had in their last glory years of the 70s and early 80s. And we're going to talk about him today because I did something on Ron Greschner, but I used to call him the two Rons. You can't do Ron Greschner in this podcast channel without mentioning the beautifully stylish Ron Duguay. Now, Ronald Duguay, born Sudbury, Ontario, July 6, 1957. We didn't know who John Bon Jovi was when he entered the NHL, but when he started to play, I think maybe John Bon Jovi started teasing his hair and presenting himself because he looked more like Ron Duguay sometimes than Ron Duguay looked like Ron Duguay. Now, he played 12 seasons in the NHL, 77 through 89, and also coached in the minor league. Now, he's also been an in-studio analyst for the Rangers for a number of years, and he did, like I said, but was born in Sudbury, but grew up in the Val-Canaro region of Ontario. Now, he came to major prominence with his hometown Sudbury Wolves of the OHA, put some really strong numbers over 4 seasons. His last 2 campaigns, he had 42 and 43 goals in 61 games, and made the Wolves recognition that much stronger. Now, 77 again was his draft year. First season with the Rangers, where I don't know why his beautiful hair was eventually cut. There's cards of him with not having these flowing manes, as we say. He eventually scored 40 points that season, 79 in their cup run. He had 63 points, including 27 goals. He never had really a line mate that can play with to increase those totals, but still pretty decent. Now, 1980 was 50 points in 73 games, but he was eventually selected as a fourth-line player for the Canada Cup. Although he didn't do much in that series, it came 4 years after a World Junior Championship appearance for Team Canada. So they were seeing if he could be a future, Team Canada stalwart. And actually, to my memory, he never played for Team Canada again. Now, despite a downturn in production in 1981, mostly because of injuries, because he missed 30 games, he was back to the promise that was planned for him, with 40 goals and 76 assists in 72 games. Eventually, he had a falling out with the Rangers, and this is where it happened. For his first 6 years in New York, he was known as much for his long hair and flashy behavior as he was for his play in the ice, because he was beautiful to look at, just like Guy Lafleur. Every time he'd pick up speed or go in his zone, you were distracted, and other players didn't really goon him. It's just like, he was almost like everybody's younger brother. Now, with the Rangers, he came to major recognition. He set a team record by scoring the fastest goal from the start of the game in 9 seconds in Rangers history on April 6, 1980 against the Flyers. Now, the 83, his numbers eventually dropped, and only scoring 19 goals. And the head coach, Herb Brooks, who never really liked him, and didn't like the fact he's very popular in New York nightlife, eventually traded Duguay on June 13, 1983, with him and Eddie Mio and Eddie Johnson to the Red Wings for Willie Huber, Mark Osborne, and Mike Blasdell. Now, during Dugay's time with the Rangers, he took part in some of team president Sonny Werbelin's schemes to make the Rangers more hip and visible in the disco area in New York City. This includes singing on a Hockey Sock Rock, was written by all people Alan Thicke. The song features vocals by Duguay, Esposito, Pat Hickey, Dave Maloney, and John Davidson, and it was released as a 45 in 1979. Now, with the Red Wings career, Dugay's career was vitalized. In 84, he was third in the Red Wings with 33 goals, and second on the team with 47 assists. And 85 was second on the team in scoring with 38 goals, 51 assists, and 89 points, the best offensive season of his career. However, at the trade deadline in '86, Duguay was sent to Pittsburgh for the very inefficient Doug Shedden. Now, Duguay played parts of only 2 seasons in Pittsburgh, and his production was never as good as that had been in New York or Detroit. Now, January 21st, '87, Pittsburgh traded Duguay back to the Rangers in exchange for Chris Contos, reunited Duguay with former teammate and then Ranger GM Phil Esposito. Now, Duguay resigned with the Rangers summer of '87. It was towards the end of his second stint with the Rangers that Duguay was sent to the minors for the first time, playing 2 games with Colorado of the IHL. Now, after briefly returning to the Rangers, Duguay finished his NHL career with the Kings in '89. An attempted comeback with the Leafs in 1980, as well as one with Tampa Bay, where Phil Esposito was the GM in '92, were not successful. Now, Dugay's career continued in minor leagues for a few years after his final NHL season. He also played 22 games in Europe with Mannheim of the German League during the '89-90 season, then returned to the United States where he played 2 seasons in the IHL with San Diego Gulls, which was an independent contractor at the time. Now, following the '92 season, he retired, but 3 years later resumed playing again for the San Diego Gulls, who are now members of the WCHL. Duguay explained that he was inspired to return to hockey to help the team then injury-riddled squad. He also wanted these kids who had been too young to see him play in the NHL to see him in action. Now, Duguay finished the '96 season with the Gulls, scoring 8 goals and 9 assists in only 12 games. Over the next 2 seasons, he played in just 5 games for the Gulls. And in '99, he jumped to the Jacksonville Lizard Kings of the ECHL, but skated in just 1 game before commencing his second retirement. Now, with the Jacksonville Barracudas, then playing in the Atlantic Coast Hockey League, Duguay played 6 games as a Barracudas forward, then took over as the team's head coach. In the 2004 season, Duguay led the Barracudas, now playing in the World Hockey Association number 2, to the league's best record in playoff championships. In 2004, the Barracudas joined the newly formed Southern Professional Hockey League, and with Duguay as head coach, the Barracudas' overall record over 3 1/4 seasons was 92-92-0-3, with 6-3 playoff record. Now, Duguay resigned as coach after an unsuccessful 2006 season. It's more than 50 different players left the team as it finished with a 15-39-02 record. On his resignation, he told the Florida Times-Union that he was fired. Well, no, excuse me, my mistake. I read it wrong. Tired. He fired himself because he was tired. Typical Duguay comment. So again, some time to look at his career with the Gretzky Kings. He was part of their playoff squad that year too. But the years with the Gulls are very interesting because he gave legitimacy to the rebirth of the Gulls, because technically the Gulls were in the IHL, but he still had a lot of NHL style fans over the years. Now, final NHL totals. Oh yeah, he also played with the Brooklyn Aces and the Jersey Rockhoppers of the EPHL. Final NHL totals. Pretty consistent, ladies and gentlemen. 274 goals in 860 games in 620 total points. Playoffs, a very good playoff performer, 53 points in 89 games. And for me, again, the standout was that 1981 season where the Rangers were again a cup contender, where he put 8 goals in 14 games. But post-NHL career, again, from 2007 to 2018, he was an analyst for television coverage of Rangers games. Did a great job. Now, on March 21st and 22nd, 29, nearly 6 years after his final professional games, again he played those 2 games in EPHL. One game with the Aces and the Rockhoppers to raise money for the Garden of Dreams Foundation, a non-profit organization associated with MSG. He signed a waiver and played his game with the Brooklyn Aces without a helmet, which allowed his hair to flow free as it did when he played in the NHL. With 37 seconds of regulation, he assisted on the game-tying goal, but the Aces would lose 4-3 in overtime. Now, in 2009, Duguay competed in the first season of the Battle of the Blades on CBC television, partnering with the great Barbara Underhill. The charity he skated for was World Vision Canada. Now, the Sudbury Wolves have retired his jersey, And in the 2000 book, 100 Rangers Greats, he made top 50 at number 49. Now, on New Year's Eve 2011, he participated in the 2012 Winter Classic alumni game, pitting legends of the Rangers against the legends of the Flyers. Now, less than 2 minutes in the game, Duguay went in on a breakaway on Bernie Perron goal in an act of class, gently shot the puck into the 65-year-old goaltender's pads. Now, in the NHL, Duguay was known again for his long curly hair, which would blow behind him as he skated without a helmet. He and his teammates, Esposito, Dave Maloney, and Anders Hedberg, also appeared in a TV commercial for Sasson designer jeans. Now, on December 1st, 83, just like his good pal Ron Greschner, Duguay married a fashion model, Robin Bobo. The couple had 2 daughters before the marriage, unfortunately, ended in divorce. In 1990s, he married former fashion model and one of Carol Alt's friends, Kim Alexis. Now, after marrying Alexis, Duguay moved to Point Vedra Beach, Florida, but the couple divorced in 2016. So overall, the yin and yang of Greschner and Duguay stands out because not only were they great hockey players, they lived very, very, full lives. Fell in love with beautiful women, fell in love with the city that he played in. The fans fell in love with them. I have nothing bad to say for the two Rons because that was a different NHL. When the Rangers would come in, it was always a 2-pizza night because the women were watching. And you could watch the game without people freaking out too much. But I still want to know who cut Ron Duguay's hair because there's different shots of him almost bald. So that may be a mystery. If anybody knows out there why Duguay was sheared, it was probably maybe, I don't know, some type of team thing. Let me know. So give us a like, comment, or subscribe. We have passed 124,000 hits on the channel, doing quite well. Again, we're going to be stopping the hockey podcast once I get through the last of the requests, and we're going to start the baseball vintage history of the Blue Jays next week, and we're going to try to give you a little bit of Blue Jay trivia to read about now they're no longer in the playoffs, where they shouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place. But, it's a celebration of the Blue Jay Nation. Excuse me. So have a great day. Take care. Bye.